If you think cruise ship crew members are only there to serve you, you might be missing something. They live on these ships. They see the mistakes passengers make every day. And they have some key insights into cruising that have saved my vacation more than once. Today, I'm going to share their best insider tips with you. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you the cruise insider information you need to avoid mistakes, save money, and protect yourself so that you can have your best cruise ever. One of the things I really like to do when I go on a cruise is get to know some of the cruise staff a little bit, especially the ones serving me, like my cabin steward. I'll be friendly with them, and sometimes that can get you some good insider information. For example, I was told by a cabin steward a long time ago that one of the most important things you can do the minute you get on that ship is inspect your cruise ship cabin. Now, a lot of us, when we get on a cruise, we're waiting for that okay to go to our room and get settled a little bit. And we want to just unpack our bags and put things around and maybe just lay down and rest from all that embarkation day chaos. But just because they gave the okay to go to your cruise ship cabin doesn't mean it's actually ready. Yes, it means it's technically been cleaned and serviced, but there could be some issues that went unnoticed. Remember, on embarkation day, on most cruises, the entire ship is being turned around, and cabin stewards are at their busiest. They're doing everything they can to get these rooms clean and fixed up. But if a light is burnt out, if a sink is clogged, if a toilet's not flushing properly, they might not notice those kinds of things. And the earlier that you can report that to them, the better. And they actually prefer it because a lot of times they can get those things taken care of themselves or get the right department there to fix it. Now, I've got a whole other video on exactly what to inspect on embarkation day, but I'm going to give you the key points right here. Number one, check that air conditioner. Make sure it is cooling off the room. Turn it as cold as it goes and wait for about 5 minutes and make sure you can feel cool air coming out. Because if your air conditioner is not working properly, it may have something to do with a balcony door not closing properly. It may have something to do with another issue that needs to be worked out. And the earlier you get that report into your cabin steward, the more quickly it's going to be fixed. Always check if your sink is draining properly and is not clogged. Check that the toilet actually flushes. Check that things turn on like the TV and anything else that's important to you. And always just give the bed a quick check. You want to make sure there's no bed bugs in there. While it's not common, it does happen, and that can ruin your entire cruise. And this next item has saved me quite a bit of money over the years. I have been on a number of cruises where mysterious charges showed up on my onboard account. And one time I went to guest services to tell them this wasn't mine and to have it fixed. And the lady told me, "Thank you for reporting this early because too many passengers wait until the last day, and sometimes it's harder to fix things then." It's very important to check that onboard account daily. Mistakes do happen, especially if you're spending on board. Think about it like this. You go to a bar to order a drink, and you don't have the drink package, you're just paying a la carte. And the bartender is collecting maybe 5, 6 drink orders at a time, collecting 5 different cruise cards at a time and inputting those orders. Well, he could easily slip up and charge another drink order onto your card. Maybe they ordered 2 drinks and you only ordered 1 and you're paying double. The problem usually isn't fraud, it's just mistakes and things getting posted to the wrong account. And if you check this daily, it's easier to spot. Especially if you're doing a good bit of spending on board, if you wait until the end, you're not going to remember exactly what you should have been charged each day for the things that you purchased, and it's going to be a lot harder to find a problem, much less fix it. If you've been on a cruise before, do you check your onboard account daily? Let me know in the comments below. For a lot of us who take cruises without buying that expansive Wi-Fi package, there are hotspots at all ports of calls. Some of them better than others. Some of them cheaper to use than others. And who knows where to go? The cruise ship crew members, because most of them are not paying for Wi-Fi on board. And when they have an opportunity to get off the ship for an hour or two at a port, they know exactly where to go, where they can get good Wi-Fi without having to spend much, maybe just grabbing a coffee at a spot. And they can tell you these hotspots. So if you need to check in for an hour at a port of call, check with a crew member. That one simple question can save you a lot of time and a headache trying to figure that out at port. And this next advice saves a lot of people from missing the ship. If you ever ask a crew member about the all aboard time, they will be vigilant. They will tell you, make sure you're back early. And they're there reminding you as you leave the ship, all aboard time is 4:30, all aboard time is 5:30. It's hard to miss because crew members know that while in some cases cruise ships have waited for late passengers, even if they weren't part of a cruise line shore excursion, it's never guaranteed, and in many cases, that cruise ship will leave without you, and you'll be responsible for all of the expenses of either getting back home or getting to the next port of call to catch up with the ship. You never want to turn a port day into a race back to the ship, but if something happens and you are running behind, get there as quickly as possible and contact the port agent. This is information given out by the cruise line for every port of call. You can find it either on your cruise ship app or on the daily schedule. And there will be a phone number. And that's really the only way that you can contact the ship or let the ship know that you're running late. And maybe they might pull some strings if it's only going to be a few minutes. But you cannot guarantee or count on that. So your best bet to save yourself the headache is to plan on getting back to that ship at least an hour before all aboard time. That gives you some leeway for things to happen and you'll still be there without problems. And then there is one line that crew members will not cross. Crew members are contractually barred from being romantic with passengers in any way. That includes hooking up, dating, or anything of that sort. And their job is on the line. They not only can be fired immediately, but they'll have a very hard time finding another job in the industry. So if you're cruising solo or single and a crew member is being very friendly with you, remember that they're working and that is part of their job. Anybody who's been cruising for a while knows that there are a whole bunch of banned items that you're not allowed to bring on board, and they vary from cruise line to cruise line. That being said, I've talked to a number of cruisers over the years who tell me they bring some of this stuff on anyway and get away with it. And I don't doubt it. Cruise lines are not going to catch everything. But if you talk to a crew member, especially a cabin steward, they will tell you to please don't leave that stuff out in the open and obvious, because crew members don't want to get you in trouble. They want you to like them. They want you to have a good time. And part of their work involves getting gratuities. They do not want to be the bad guy. But if you leave something prohibited, like a bottle of vodka that you weren't supposed to get on board, out in the open, they're supposed to report that. They don't want to, but if a superior walks by and sees them in the room with that sitting out, they'll be questioned. And that goes for pretty much anything that is banned by that specific cruise line. It's best just not to put them in that position. If you have something on board that you're really not supposed to, just don't make it obvious and keep it hidden, and you won't have a problem and they won't have a problem either. And next I'm going to get to one thing that does piss some people off. But first, if you're looking to book a cruise, we maintain a list of the best cruise deals you can book right now. If you'd like a copy, just comment deals or click on the deals link in our description. These days, most major cruise lines have a specific policy about chair hogs. Now, this is a controversial topic because every single cruise I've been on, I've noticed chair hogs. My very last cruise, I even sat at my own chair for 2 hours and recorded that people had towels and things on chairs all up and down the row of the pool deck, and they were never there for 2 hours in the morning. Crew members are not always focused on dealing with this issue. And while many cruise lines have a specific time limit, say 30 minutes, that you can leave a chair unattended with your items on it, or it'll be removed, they are rarely removed. In fact, on the last 10 cruises I've been on, I've only seen items removed from a chair by a crew member once. But remember, crew members do not want to be the police. They want every passenger to like them and have a good time. They don't want to get into a contentious situation. So if you really want a chair in a specific spot or on a popular spot by the pool, get there early, around 6 or 7 a.m., and get that chair. Don't be a chair hog and just leave your stuff there for 2 hours. Sit there, actually enjoy it, and you'll legitimately have a spot that you want. It's just a reality of cruising that if you try to get a popular spot by the pool or on a sun deck in the middle of a sea day, you're not going to be able to do it. Those are all going to be occupied. What do you think? Should people hold down chairs without sitting there? Let me know in the comments below. I've seen on a lot of cruises that many passengers assume guest services is the be-all, end-all for any kind of issue or problem or request that you have while on board. But it's not. There are various departments throughout the cruise ship that handle different things. And your best bet, if you want something handled quickly and correctly, is to ask guest services or your room steward or another staff member, which department handles this problem? Where do I go to solve X, Y, or Z? For example, if you don't like where your dining table is situated, they may tell you to go talk to the restaurant manager. And if you ask guest services, they'll tell you exactly what hours they'll be at the restaurant so that you can go prepared at the right time and not waste your time. Next, I'm going to get to a tip that will save you from overpaying on your cruise. But first, if you would take a minute and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, it helps us grow and you won't miss our next video. In my experience, most cruise ship crew members are very friendly, and a few simple questions can keep you from spending extra money when you're on your cruise. There are a lot of things that you can actually get for free that you wouldn't think about unless you ask. From something as simple as a cup of coffee after the buffet has closed, where the crew member might direct you to another spot where there's complimentary coffee instead of you having to go to the Starbucks or other venue and pay for it, to more complex things like transportation at a port of call. For example, a lot of cruises in the Mediterranean don't actually stop at a place where you can walk off the ship and get right into town. Usually, there's at least a couple mile bus ride that you have to take, and cruise lines would love to charge you between 20 and 30 euros just for that round trip bus ride, when at a lot of these ports, there's a free bus that will take you to almost the exact same spot. And crew members always know about this. I've been on some cruise ships where they handed out free medication for seasickness, especially during rough seas, which avoids you from having to go to the gift shop if you didn't bring that stuff and pay 3 times as much as it's actually worth. There's so many examples where this could save you money. I cannot mention them all. But if you need something or think of something that you want on your cruise or at your port of call, ask somebody. You might be surprised that you get a pretty welcoming solution. Largely across all major cruise lines, cruise passengers give high praise for a majority of the cruise ship staff. So take advantage of it. They're there to help you. And the worst thing they can say is, I don't know. So now that you know some insider tips that I got directly from cruise ship staff members, there is one thing I wish cruise lines would do that would stop people from getting denied boarding. I'll tell you all about that right here.